Everybody, we're back. My first guest tonight is going to become the next anchor and managing editor of the NBC Nightly News following the presidential election of 2004. He beat me out for the job. I don't know how. Please welcome Brian Williams. Good. Look at you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You look great.
It's a rental. I have to get it back right
That's
after
not
we're
true.
done here. You know,
you look good all the time.
I always say this: best band in show business.
What's that? Oh, them over there. Yes.
Best band in show business.
Very nice. And you know that. People don't realize at home, but they inject so much energy into the show. I'm a very low energy and depressed person.
Right.
But this band interjects a level of energy that subliminally lifts the entire show. Without that band, I'd be an old, tired man in his underwear doing the show every night.
I think that's as kind a tribute as I've heard to them. So
yeah, well, I think it's very nice. They play for over 6 hours before I come out and do the show for this audience right here. Some say it's too much. I say not long enough.
Well, it's tragic sometimes. I was not going to do this, but coming out of this curtain, do you remember the last time we were in this studio together?
You hugged me. We kissed briefly.
Not I don't that, but
oh yes, yes. Yes.
The chairman of General Electric,
yes.
The company that owns us, Jeffrey C. Immelt.
But some say one of the most powerful men in the world in business.
The largest
multinational, like him, Bill Gates,
like 350,000 employees.
Yeah, powerful man.
Once a year does a town hall meeting for employees that is televised live to all GE facilities.
All over the world, Moscow, Tokyo, you name it.
Yeah, my story. And I have...
My show. We'll be right back with our next guest. Sorry, we're running out of time. We have no time. I don't know... I'm sorry, but anyway, you were saying...
I've had the honor of hosting it the last 2 years, and this year, as a change of pace, as you know, you were invited to come out and do a little comedy shtick when we got started.
Little shtick for the GE employees.
So, Mr. Immelt, who again, the premier of China visited New York yesterday and visited one CEO of one company, and that was Jeffrey C. Immelt, who sells them locomotives and MRIs and all kinds of aircraft engines. So... brings his wife in that day, Andy, and his daughter, Sarah, was out of school for half a day because she loves you. Being Mr.
What kid
NBC...
doesn't?
Yeah, right. Being Mr. NBC, I thought, Jeff, come on back. I know where Conan's dressing room is. I'll introduce you to. We opened your door, and you weren't wearing any pants.
True story. I was not wearing pants.
The chairman of General Electric...
I'm standing there in SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Underwear, and you guys are staring at me, and I
thought...
Are
those Garanimals that you wear, did they go with a shirt? Because that was, I'd never seen that
It's all coordinated,
before.
yeah. Okay. But what stunned me is you guys didn't knock. I guess you think, like, I got the nightly news thing, bang! And you kick the door open like Starsky and Hutch, and I'm there putting on my tighty whities, and these guys are looking at me, and that was an embarrassing situation.
When the door is open already, you don't normally knock. I think somebody was putting on a little show for the staff.
The late...
But you know what? It was embarrassing, and
the ladies like it. Suggestion box always says more Coney in his undies. That's...
And you know, Immelt's a cool guy, and he said later he had never been quite as attracted to a man as he was that day.
That's nice. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
that guy can push a button and we just go away. He's probably watching now, petting a white cat. They displease me.
Yeah.
We go.
Hugely powerful guy.
But enough about me and your admiration for me, which I think was the gist of that story. You always do a fine job. You're a professional. I think you're one of the best at what you do. And I particularly loved your coverage of Hurricane Isabel, which I thought was top-notch. We have a clip here. Enjoy this clip. This is a guy. Take a look at this.
Where you are. You look from our vantage point like you're on a ledge of some sort. You got a wind meter there? Yeah, hang on for dear life.
Introduce to you Mike Seidel with the Weather Channel. Hang on, Mike. What's your reading?
Well, we're kind of protected here.
It was him or me, you know?
Now, yeah, it did look like the wind was starting to blow, and that you pushed that guy into the wind, and then used him to block. That's what it looked like to me.
I was using him for ballast. You got a little Weather Channel guy, you use him, you let him go. ever seen how many people they have?
They
got
have a
more.
disposable. You
Yeah.
pull one, it's like a dispenser. Another drops down. The Weather Channel.
It was so funny. We found him later pressed against a building. But, you know, they sent a replacement and no one noticed.
Everything's
no,
fine.
Mike Seidel is a great guy. This was run without context by these people in the media.
And the way I just did it right now, too. Yeah.
My wife called the minute it was over. She called my cell phone and said, please explain that you were showing the wind tunnel effect between two high-rises, how it rose. It was about 96 miles an hour where we were standing. And so Seidel comes over, and he had a wind machine in his hand, which I thought was a very, very bad, uniquely bad idea. And you saw what happened. But I learned while I was in Virginia Beach with no power or water that night that you had run the clip on that night show. And
I think 15 times,
Yeah.
I think, we ran it. I didn't actually host the show that night. We ran it on a loop over and over again. Yeah. The two of you just flying around.
Yeah, so you had some rare time off as opposed to the last couple of nights. So, are you getting enough time?
I'm working on that one right now. We just had a few days off. I'm a machine. I'm out here every night giving my...
A lot of us depend on you.
Huh? What's that?
A lot of us depend on you.
A little louder into the mic, right there.
A lot of us depend on you.
I give my heart and soul to the American people.
All right. Well,
and every now and then they give me a little time off so I can get some color because I'm a little white.
Yeah, you and me both.
I went up to Maine. I sat outside.
Yeah, it's good this time of year.
I think it looks good on me.
You're radiant.
Thank you. I glow.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a few things because, unlike me, you actually get out in the world and meet movers and shakers. You just recently were hosting or moderating one of the debates of the Democratic candidates.
Yeah, what a bunch.
And I'm curious, they're a fun gang. What did you make of them? And I don't mean their policies, but which one would you want to hang out with? If you could only hang out with one, who do you think would be the most fun to hang out with?
I think, and other people have given the same answer, I think it would be Al Sharpton, who did, I think, a pretty magnificent job on SNL this past weekend, and who knew he did James Brown that well, especially the backward moonwalk thing, which was very difficult.
They use strings.
I guess. And you can tell he's the popular kid on the Democratic candidates tour, because they're all trying to... You know, to hear Wes Clark talk about his peeps and his West Coast crew, it's not right. There's something wrong with it.
So you think they're trying to get a little of, they're trying to rub up against...
of the language. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. They give him props all the time, and not the kind you have here on your set.
They actually go up to him and give him props?
Yeah, they give him props, yeah.
Very nice.
Verbally, at least.
What did you think of the Gore endorsing Dean? That's a big story today.
Huge news. Poor Joe Lieberman. I mean, they were buddies, they were partners. But Gore's staff says that his new policy is to be bold, whether he goes down with the ship or whether he turns out to be right. A lot of people say there's a Clinton angle to this story, and Gore and Clinton are splitting off their loyalties, and some of it is about Hillary Rodham Clinton potentially running for president. But it's early. We haven't had a primary. We don't have a nominee. But only the true believers are really going to come out and vote when it's 0 degrees in Iowa and New Hampshire. And this is aimed at the true believers in the Democratic Party.
When do you think, and you get a sense of this from doing the news, but when do you get a sense that the American people really start to care about the election? I mean, really care?
Traditionally, it's been Labor Day, when you pack up the summer stuff for the season and people come indoors, the weather turns, and you start watching television news, which we recommend you watch just as diligently all year round because you could miss something. But traditionally, Labor Day.
Why? Why do I take it? I keep bringing you back and back on the show.
You know?
I've been like a younger brother to you, I think.
It strikes me. You know, we're both
Much
Irish
brother.
Catholic kids, up from nothing. It's been a decade for us both here.
I inherited great wealth as a child. I'm worth $7 billion.
Just a stab at sentimentality, but I guess you're not going to take the bait.
No, not at all. Before we go, and I'm getting you out of here soon, you used to sell Christmas trees, did you not?
I did.
That was
Red
your
Bank,
job
New
for a
Jersey,
while.
out of a trailer.
Can you succinctly tell people what any good Christmas... Because people are used to getting the news and the facts from you. What's a good Christmas tree tip? What are the good trees?
You want one with needles? This was
Total waste of my time.
This was a tough part of northern Jersey where I grew up. But if you got needles, you were doing well. Your balsam fir.
You like the balsam? What about the blue fir?
You know, that's very west side Manhattan. We didn't do blue firs. Why
don't you just give people my exact address so that they can... Come on by and see me sometime. I'm hanging out with a balsam fir.
Members of the Christmas tree community will recognize this. We did a straight balsam fir, and that's about it. Your varying needle lengths. You want one with needles, a good stout base, and looks good on a station wagon roof.
Really? Do you throw it? Do you actually tie it to the roof yourself?
Oh, yeah, and often we're not tipped by people. And please tip your Christmas tree.
I think that's
people.
where I met you for the first time, actually. I was like, oh, boy, get that on my roof. And I drove away.
We didn't have a lot of money for ornaments in my family. We just kept it on the car for the whole season.
That's the saddest lie I've ever heard. Well, I looked down to plug something and it says, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Brian,
Thanks,
sincerely, it is nice having you here. He's a funny guy. Brian Williams, Tony Cox coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.